Welcome on into the Browns post-game show. Browns film breakdown post-game show. Sorry. Um, I am by myself for the moment. Hang in there as Peter will be here momentarily. Jake Burns is very under the weather. If you haven't heard from him a lot today, very unusual on a game day. He's very sick, so like very sick. So feel bad for him today and all that's going on with his team at the same time, which we're going to talk about. Good win, says Matt. They win. The Browns go out and win 13-6 at home. And Shador Sanders goes 17 of 23 for 186 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 37.2, and a rating of 75.6. The game started out, he looked great. He was in rhythm, moved right up and down the field. Harold Fandon, 2 catches, 30 yards, an incredible touchdown catch to get in there at the beginning. Little did we know it would be the only touchdown of the game. And then, so, Shmee knocks a couple in, 1 in the second half to move them from 10 to 13. And that was enough to beat the Steelers today because the Browns defense was remarkable. And Aaron Rodgers and Miles came out and said this after the game, was trying so hard to not give up the record to Miles that I think he did a disservice to his team. Even on that last play, you can see that Gainwell was coming open on the check down, and he just absolutely would not do it. Hold on, I've got to get Peter in the right place here. No. All right. Let me do this real quick. But I mean, he was throwing the ball as fast as he could out of his hands. Anytime Miles got close, and he was close several times, like several times, to getting him. And I even think that Nance thought he got him when Alex Wright got him. He was about ready to make the call. He got all hyped up and stuff, and then realized it wasn't him. So, Miles will take the record to week 18. He did impact this game incredibly as they were doing everything they could to change things around him. And I really hope he can get the record. I was actually hoping he could get it today, more than anything, so that he wouldn't have to go into this week with the pressure that he's going to have to face, go win this thing and put up a number against a Bengals team that. And the only thing I thought of, this, is that they could be playing. It's possible it could be Joe Flacco, and maybe Flacco does you a favor and says, "Come here, big boy, come get your record," and lets him take him down like Strahan did. So that's. Do you think that's in the range of outcomes, Peter? Welcome, Peter Moses, to the show. We're going to talk about the importance of this win here now that Peter's here, but I just was kind of going over some stats, Shador stats, how the game started. Really did nothing on offense in the second half, except for get Shmee into field goal range one time. But I was talking about Miles taking this thing that basically Aaron Rodgers was willing to lose this game if it meant he wasn't going to get sacked by Myles Garrett, strangely.
This did feel like a game where both fan bases, for the most part, the majority of everyone who watched this game walked away being super annoyed with the outcome.
Yeah.
And, our man behind enemy lines, Cody, lives in Pittsburgh, and all of his buddies are absolutely losing their minds, calling the NFL fixed and all that stuff. And it certainly feels that way for, I think, a big section of people in our community as well. Um, but Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I think from our lens, it looks like he was being petty. But when I step back from this game 4 hours later, they didn't have their top two receivers or TJ Watt. And
No, yeah.
they
I just
barely
think that
squeaked
he
this thing
was
out.
being. I think he was purposely trying not to give up the record.
I mean, sure, Aaron Rodgers is petty like that, but they sure need, um, they sure need, uh, to win that game. You think Aaron Rodgers is being petty more so to not give up that record, or was that just kind of what they said was the key to them winning the game? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he
he didn't.
throws it fast anyways, but he talked about it, I think, saying that he wasn't going to give it up or whatever. This is just what. And then Miles said after the game, they cost themselves a game because they were trying not to let me get the record.
Yeah, and I think, but you could also get swallowed up by your own game plan.
Yeah.
I think. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not coming in here to disagree with you, but I think Aaron Rodgers, when you just watch him, he just inherently looks petty.
Fact.
He's just a petty looking dude, and
Yes.
all of his actions up until this point have also confirmed he's a petty motherfucker. Pardon my French.
No, you're good. You can, yeah. Jake, with the Jake's away. The kids will play.
The kids will play.
Out route, $5 super chat. Thanks, buddy. Best wishes to Jake. Peter, you look like post beard RB. Who? Utopia season.
I don't know, man.
2?
RB Pietre in Utopia.
I don't know that.
Brad, this is old, but it is oh, I see who you're talking about. Yeah, I do kind of look like that guy. Yeah, that's fine. A little bit. I don't know, Brad. I mean, listen, we talked on the phone right after this as we were scrambling with Jake's illness.
Yep.
I
This is stupid.
well, why
This is
don't you
stupid.
what this is but you're sad right now, right? You're frustrated and and I think a lot of people are, and I think it's a valid case.
I'm frustrated. Yeah.
Why? You're just frustrated that they won?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. There's three things that could have happened today, right? Miles could have won the award, won the record. That would have been a huge bright spot for people that follow this team. But while being at the same time a single season record really does nothing for your franchise. But it would have felt good for Miles and for the Browns, right? 2, you lose this game and stay in line for a top 2 pick where you can inherently either trade down if you decide you don't want one of these guys, but probably take your next franchise quarterback, one of either Mendoza or Moore. And I'll talk more about this. Even if you weren't going to do that, though, it's more important than anything to have that offer if you're going to change coaches. I challenge you now to back channel and find a coach good enough. And people, I was having this discussion with Casey after the game. And if the Browns are really back channeling for coaches to come in, to see who has an appetite for this job, does that change considerably now that you are either stuck with Shador and an option B that we're going to bring in, or Shador and just whatever other rest of the room we put together, we're going to give him the whole year? I doubt a lot of coaches have an appetite for that compared to here's this awesome defense and you get to pick your franchise quarterback coming in, which once again leads me back in the direction of last week where they were saying they hadn't decided on Stefanski yet. I feel like if Stefanski was ever going to get another pass, it's going to happen in this world where they don't have that high draft pick, they can't attract a good enough coach, and they say, screw it, we're going to keep Stefanski and run it back with Shador Sanders. And to me, that is hell.
Is hell?
That is not a good. That's not good, man. That is not good.
I honestly was with
That
you
is
up
the
until
worst possible outcome that could have came away from today. Is that I feel like they potentially keep Stefanski, and we're gonna run 17 games with Shador Sanders next year. That doesn't feel like the right thing because in the loss today or in the win today, it's not like Shador was amazing. He wasn't. He was good for a drive or two, very middling, and then two bad interceptions again. Um, so you can say tanking is for losers, but it's going to have, I promise you, it's going to have an impact on this organization, a major impact on everything. It's not just one thing, it's like a domino effect. This affects a lot of things in how you proceed this offseason, right? And that's one of the underlying factors that I think is in play is who your head coach is. And do you fire this guy that 100% deserves to be fired at this point?
I agree with everything you said, but hell,
But hell, it's not
it,
hell.
it's not. I well, so
It's not
I
hell
agree. I know. I listen. I
because
agree, but I think people should. And I know like I talked to Jake a little bit from his deathbed, and let me tell you, if you think you're salty or in your feelings about this,
I'm
the
not.
man is no, no, no.
I'm
I'm
kind
just
of
saying.
like
I'm saying Jake is on
accepting
another
it. Yeah,
another level.
yeah.
Uh, I would say if this, I think the thing that's most frustrating is the plan for this year aligns with a lot of the feelings from the ownership for the last 10 years, where there is not alignment in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the frustration is they kind of had a plan for this year and they stuck to it. It still just put them in a situation where they weren't able to kind of fully bottom out. They couldn't pull like a Raiders job right now because their team is still too kind of good on defense.
Mm-hmm.
And and Stefanski is kind of coaching for his job too. And you also like there's just a lot of inconsistencies and unfortunate things that have led to this point. And to me, while this was ridiculous, this was a ridiculous win. This was a silly, silly, ridiculous win.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like an amalgamation of probably more realistically where this team is from a talent
Probably
level
right.
than
Probably right.
really hoping they're getting a first or second pick.
Yeah, you're.
Because I agree with everything you're saying, and
Yeah.
anyone who's like furious that they won totally has the right to be so. My takeaway is more also, I differ. Jake called Shador Jameis Winston comp. Could be like a Jameis Winston type last week, which I think is a fair comp. And I am not a tape guy. I'm not a film guy. I'm not a guru or quarterback expert, and nor do I play one on TV. But to me, I think there are traits that are worth seeing with Shador, that are, and I would be excited about that for a full year next year. I know there's a lot of stuff that has to go through the offseason. There's the Watson, there's all the drama about who Shador is and all these things. But to me, if you take away all of that stuff, and I understand it's like he plays a really good half every game.
Mm-hmm. It's about right.
This line is absolute poo poo.
So,
But he just makes
just,
he's just making throws. Hold on, he's just making throws that I think really interest me and get me excited, and that's not even saying he's the right answer. But going back to the Kevin point as well, and then I'll shut up. Like,
you're good.
if this game changed the organization's mind about Kevin, then it is more unaligned as an organization than I thought they would, because there is nothing about losing to DJ Metcalf-less. Who's the other receiver they had out? Like their second receiver was out.
They were
and
without
then
Metcalf, and then
Washington went out with a concussion.
Washington broke his arm or something.
Or broke his arm. Yeah. And then and they didn't have TJ Watt. So like, if you the weather played into it. They played press coverage, which is exactly kind of like, this is honestly how the game, if they weren't exhausted from coming back from overseas, and the Steelers just were on their early season juju, like This is what the game
Yeah,
could have looked like in week 5 or whatever, easily.
sure.
And it just like they just had 3 things go wrong. They also had better players out there. So to me, if this win or a win versus the Bengals changes ownerships or Barry's mind about getting rid of Stefanski, that to me
I,
is like a much more
I don't think
disappointing
it
outcome.
changes their mind, but I think it does change who they can attract for the job in a major way.
Yeah,
Which
potentially.
ultimately, then you're not just gonna settle for. Like, believe me, I'm all for going in. I'm all in. Like, it's time for a change to fancy. Like, if that means for me, if I'm in charge, if that means that I have to go out on a limb and go get Udinsky at age 29 because like nobody else is going to take him because he's too young. But I think he's a savant and he interviews well, and I think he's the guy. Then I'll go get him. But
I did
I
see a
don't think
tweet recently that
I
I'm
don't.
curious about your thought about this though.
Okay,
I saw a tweet that was like teams should be hiring more from within.
no.
Like
What?
the Ravens should have gotten rid of Harbaugh and kept McDonald in Seattle. Like
But yeah, maybe if they.
The Bucks should have fired Bowles and like promoted like
Yeah,
Liam
if you
Cohen.
have
Like
the
I'm
if
not
you have
and
the
like
wherewithal and like most teams want to keep the guy they're winning with in place.
yeah,
So
but like
like
it's also like Ben Johnson. What's like Dan Campbell's record without Ben Johnson? It's like
right, I've been saying that for
7
a long
and
time.
yeah,
Yeah,
you've been the anti
Dan
chomp your knees
Campbell.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
for a while.
because
So I
I
just want
don't
to make that
believe
point.
that
Sorry to
that.
interrupt you. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, no, you're good. You're good. I'm just saying that like I'm fine if they would bring in another coach if they believed in him, but like nobody that is worth their salt, do I think is going to be like, man, I want to go coach Shador in that mess with Watson. And I'm just saying that if they have the better option, like of the guys that have the best options, and they're finding this out because I guarantee they're doing their due diligence. They're reaching out to agents. What's your appetite for the job in Cleveland? That changes now that you doesn't include a top 2 pick, and that's real for me. And does it change enough to the point where the caliber of coach you're getting is just not good enough? Is the juice worth the squeeze of the change, or do we just stay the course with Stefanski? Like, and it feels like they are middling, like they're not so far into fire Stefanski land that they can't just redirect back this way. They should be that far into fire Stefanski land, but it doesn't feel like they are, which is part of the problem as an organization. But either way, that's where I feel like this is. Um,
It's a valid point.
yeah. I mean, they may not. And you know what about Shador? Like, I'm rooting for the kid. If he gets all year, I'll be 100% behind him. And I hope he does it. And I hope he can be like the next guy. And he's the answer. I'm just saying, from what my eyes tell me so far, he's not.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely making some
Are there
turnovers and having
intriguing
some
parts?
issues.
Is he trying to get better? Yes. But do I see the answer? No, I
No,
don't.
you could say not yet. I think it's not yet. I mean, I have a hard time discerning personally. Um, I have a hard time personally figuring out when other players, current or former players, talk about
Here,
Shador.
this is the way that the front office is thinking. Wouldn't an offseason of Shador Sanders, Kevin, and Tommy be better than change other than Baker? We have never had continuity at QB. I would have agreed with you. I would have agreed with you until I've seen the way that Stefanski has been outcoached this year and outleveraged all year long. Name a game besides today that he didn't get outcoached in. I challenge you.
He didn't get out coached really probably in the first game against
Maybe
the
the first
Bengals.
game. But the point is, like, when we sit down and we watch the film and I listen to Jake and he talks about the stuff they're running, their run game is atrocious. They have no run game. They are running like a high school level run game. There's
Yeah,
nothing there.
it's
It's
not.
awful. They
It's
can't
not
figure
good.
it out. It's absolutely terrible. And his pass game and like the advanced stuff that other teams are doing that we watch, like watch Sunday night, watch the Bears, watch the Niners, and you're going to see stuff that you're like, wow, why don't we run stuff like that? Well, we don't. We can't. We don't do it. he's behind. I know talent matters. Talent does matter. But like I'm just saying, there are teams that are out there doing, like, look at the Dolphins. We destroyed the Dolphins. We have just as much talent as the Dolphins do. But they ran off 7 wins in a row after that. Like, and they won again today. I'm just saying there are better coaches out there right now. 2 years ago, I believed in Stefanski wholehearted. He's behind. He's behind now. And I've seen it on the film and the tape, and there's no excuse for that. You can't talk me out of it. You can't say he's a better leader of men than anybody else because they've won 3 games and 4 games consecutively. And now, on top of being the worst EPA in the NFL for 3 consecutive years, what more proof do you need to get rid of this guy?
I don't disagree. I think he has to go just to shake up, at a minimum, the room, the locker room. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, like, how it's I mean, the draft pick is disappointing, and if you believe that fervently in a culture change, I don't think acting afraid of what you could be missing on out there, like, you basically just have to decide it's more important to get a new voice in there no matter what. That's what you have to. Yeah. And so to me, like, to me, it's important to have a coach at our, like, I don't actually think John Gruden is a serious option.
No.
I know that's silly. I understand. And listen, maybe John Gruden is the coach, and then we have a other wild experience.
Then we're really screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, like, to me, that someone closer to a John Gruden who can come in and articulate and impose a standard is more important than necessarily figuring out the quarterback, which I know, because I think that's what you're saying with, like, Kevin has to go, where, like, even it's like, to me, all of a sudden now I'm kind of like, is someone like a Brian Flores type kind of in the mold of a Mike Tomlin, but more defensive than special teams? Like, is someone like that who's coming in here and resetting a culture, is that more important than anything else? That's what I'm curious about. And I think if that's the case, like, you just gotta. And if Andrew Berry's staying and you're kind of resetting after this analytics DePodesta era, I don't think you can be afraid to fire Stefanski if you and I are making that decision. So I know we're not. I still think he's going to get fired. To me, this wasn't, even if you believe in Shador and you're like, this wasn't like, wow, the coaching really helped him, or like, wow, the play calling was awesome. I don't know, man. I'm just so starved for this. Like, just seeing someone whip the ball downfield 20 yards on target, or like in an anticipatory way.
I know.
It's hard. It's hard for me to not, like, get a little excited about that. And I get it. You're either, like, really on the side of, like, Mendoza and Moore are the truth, and now we fucked around or got our way out of that position. But you're not in that position anymore. And to me, I would lean into what we have, or I would also I would try to trade down too. Because, I mean, like, now, best case scenario, we're getting the 5th pick, right? Worst case scenario, we're like 8th or 9th. But if someone was hungry at, like, the 5th or 6th pick, I would try to gather assets. I think that's the only way to kind of keep doing this.
While I'm upset, and I'll get over it.
Yeah, and I'm not telling you not to be upset. I think anyone who's, like, here,
it's not the end of the world. Like, there isn't a world where this doesn't work out, because, like, we saw the Texans do this, and they ended up with the right guy. I think you were making this point to me, right, on the phone. Like, we've seen teams do this before, and it's like, sometimes it just works out, right?
Yes, so, I was talking about Lovie Smith sticking it to ownership and winning that game, and then they're like, "Oh, we got stuck drafting C.J. Stroud."
Yeah. Oh. So maybe, like, a full season, off season of Shador with whoever the coach. Let's take the coach out of it for now, because we don't know what's going to happen with that, right? But, like, with whatever happens, this offseason. I do think that like the only direction you can really go now, unless you're gonna make a play for like Malik Willis, which I don't think is really feasible. I was looking at contracts. This like Sam Darnold got 33 million per year last year.
Sure did.
Justin Fields got 20. I think Malik Willis would get 30 right now. Don't you think? This is a QB starved league. They don't become available on the open market often.
I would
I,
give Malik Willis
I think,
$25 million.
yeah, I
a
think
year.
he gets like the Baker deal right now, like 3 years, 100 mil right now. Somebody would give it to him. We won't.
I mean, I would say, I think
He looks really good.
I would love to see. Honestly, I know I would. If they're going to keep Kevin or they bring in a new coach, I would like to see. In my personal opinion, I think where they are now, it is enough to give Shador, um, an opportunity to see what he looks like next year. I just think it's kind of the only path you have, anyways, and to get kind of upset about it at this point. I get its value. It sucks that we just kind of watched the top 2 pick slip through our fingers. But I also think at the same time, like, Pittsburgh is in hell right now.
Mm-hmm.
They also like even if Pittsburgh was being as petty as you say they were, like I am probably going to take Snoop Huntley and the Ravens coming off that game against the Steelers with again no Metcalf or Washington and maybe no TJ Watt. Like the Steelers might miss the playoffs. And that's not going to make anybody feel better about the coach or the quarterback too, but I think like I don't know.
Yeah, so
This might as well be some Schadenfreude in here. And I
yeah.
said to you as well, right now, on December 28th, 2025, who is the second best quarterback in the AFC North? Who do you think it is? Are you taking Aaron Rodgers over Shador? Probably, right?
Yeah.
But like it's kind of close, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I get it. This sucks, but I just also think like we were all so sure that things would have happened no matter who was picking or what was going on. If they got the second pick, they would have done X, Y, and Z. And like, I don't know, man. They've screwed up a lot in our lifetimes. Nothing is guaranteed.
No,
Nothing is
there's no
guaranteed.
good here. And that's kind of was like I was gonna say, like, at this point, now that this has happened, and once I come to the realization, like it probably ends up being that Shador is the best path forward. Like, I get it, Kramer. That ultimately, like I wrote 2 weeks ago, there's two paths. If they win one of these games, it's probably Shador, and that's the path forward. If they don't, then it's probably the guy they draft. This is just the outcome that we are now. This is the reality that we are dealing with now, and so I don't think that like that's the end all be all, and they can't be successful, but they have to do a really good job around him this offseason. You have to turn over the offensive line. You have to upgrade I would say rebuild the wide receiver room with the exception of a couple guys, which does make it more possible. Like that's the one advantage of going with Shador is there are more assets to do that with. Like you can use a high level asset to get a one wide receiver or a franchise left tackle. And you have another first round pick. And you have basically a third first round pick at your high number 3, right? So like all of that stuff comes into play. And yes, they should be much better on the offense. I would just like to see a schematic change on offense. Kubiak, I would be fine with. Kingsbury, I think Flores is making a really good case down the stretch here to get his
Shout out
name
to the
back in
comments
the
here.
mix. Yeah.
There is a butterfly effect of what if this game plan sinks the Steelers to their first losing record in the Tomlin era and gets him fired.
But would you really want Tomlin?
I don't know, man.
I don't know who said it. I think it
I
was
don't
this
know.
fella said
I
that Malik played one good game. That's not true. He has come in now multiple times for maybe 2, 3 sets of games. We can go look at stats or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, if you look around and talk to people, like, he's gonna. I'm not being hyperbolic, and I'm not saying they should want him or not, but someone will pay a ton of money for him because he looks that good and
Would
that
you rather keep
polished.
Stefanski or have Mike Tomlin next year?
Mike Tomlin.
Would you rather have um, Clint Kubiak or Mike Tomlin?
Clint Kubiak.
Cliff Kingsbury or Mike Tomlin?
It's a close one. Can I get them both?
Mm. OC.
Yeah.
This is there. I don't know, man. Maybe also like maybe someone wants this job. Maybe there's some like you
Maybe.
hear all the way the players talk about him.
I said
Maybe there's a
worst case
coach that wants
scenario.
him too. I don't know. Like we just don't know. And I understand. I'm not trying to have and take anybody out of their feelings. That is not my goal.
What's an insane tape, Michael? I want to know what I said was insane. Um Yeah, I mean, like, I get what the chat says, and I understand what Pittsburgh's frustration with, um, yeah, I agree. Tyson and Tate might be there at 6. Like, that's where my mind goes as well.
Same.
That's exactly where my mind goes.
I listen, like
Yeah, that
I'd
that
be
might
happy
be
with
that might be a
uh
little crazy, Mike. You're right. It might be crazy to pass over Tomlin for unproven Kubiak.
Kubiak.
You're probably right.
I but
But
then there's also this argument too that someone brings up, and why I'm saying is like maybe Mike Tomlin is a paper tiger, and maybe keeping Kevin with this offense and this and like a plan for him to develop something that he has to save his job is worth it. Maybe it is. All of the tape and his inability to have not the worst offense over the last 3 years tells you otherwise. But I don't know. I mean, I think no matter
I'm
what, no matter what happens, people are going to be unhappy and intrigued. I feel like.
I may be biased here. Idol Fete, is that what that says? Um, if I'm mispronouncing your handle, I apologize. But I may be biased here because I've always liked Malik as a prospect, so I'm maybe a little biased there.
I don't
So
know.
I
Again,
apologize.
I don't think it's in the realm of possibility, and I also think too, like this team needs to figure out what they can do to basically. We talked about the schedule last week. This schedule is
The schedule is Cupcake City.
the schedule. The schedule is cheeks. It
Yep.
is it is cupcake cheeks is what it is. And to me, I like I think the Steelers are in hell. I think the Ravens are in hell right now. I think the Bengals are in hell. I don't think anyone in our division, this division has not been this vulnerable simultaneously, maybe in our lifetimes. Like, are you bringing back Aaron Rodgers next year? Is there dysfunction? Is Lamar going to demand a trade to like Miami or something? Or is there further dysfunction in Baltimore? Is one of those two teams going to lose their coach? Are the Bengals just going to keep doing what they do, which is like turn Joe Burrow into like some existential crisis every time he has a press conference who can't stay healthy? We're already the bottom.
This is crazy. What he says is crazy talk now that we're talking about keeping it at 7. Listen, I'm just saying that one outcome that I think, I hope I hope you're right, and I am crazy for even thinking that. But all along, we've had these breadcrumbs about keeping Stefanski, the whole we want to protect Reese at all costs, leak a couple weeks ago. I'm just saying, last week there was a report that they haven't even decided on his outcome yet. Like, You're telling me that there isn't a way that they go check the appetite for this job and there's nobody that they're really thrilled about giving it to, and they don't say, yeah, let's just give Kevin another chance. It's a terrible look because he's last in the league in EPA for 3 years running. He's got back-to-back low single season digit wins, and he looks like he's behind every OC in the league as far schematically. So that's why the change has to happen. But I just don't know if in that building they are resolute like that, about the change. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're that dead set on it, or if they're like, maybe we keep, we run Shador out there and Kevin's already worked with them and it's just easier to keep the guys we have in place. Kind of like somebody said in the chat. Wouldn't it make more sense just to keep continuity in place? Well, when the continuity has netted you the worst EPA for 3 straight years in a row and 2 single season wins consecutively, then I think you need a change. Continuity for continuity's sake is not. It's not. Yeah.
No matter what, it's going to be interesting. And I don't mean to kick it down the road to be tune in next time, but
no, it is.
There's such valid arguments. There's such valid arguments on either side. And I think anyone who's being it's got to be this one way. This is one way and it's no other way. And it's this. It's yeah, okay.
The only way is lost now. It's gone. The only way that made sense is gone now. The way that made the most sense is gone now. So
the easiest way. The easiest path.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But now we got to figure it out going forward, and that may be Shador, and so I'm rooting for him to develop and be the best guy he can be. I hope he can be the answer. There's no doubt I think he can be a starter in this league, but can he do it here? And can the Browns put enough around him to give him and lift him up into a situation where he has an offensive line that can give him enough time to be his best? Can they give him a running game that's feasible? The running game has been atrocious this year, schematically and personnel-wise. These are things that have to change before you can get any better. And
Rocket Sanders look kind of good there, right? A little bit.
Sanders looks good. Yeah. I'm saying schematically,
yeah, no, for sure.
He'll break it down. He's they're running, they doing things, saying things. They invite people into the box and then run right at them. They just do crazy stuff. That's like a high school level run scheme. It's bad. It's bad.
It's not good. And I also wonder too if some of that scheming is reflective of also
the personnel.
That's what I was going to say too. Is
maybe
even the rookies, or just even the limitations of what they think the tackles can do.
There's not enough motion. There's not enough motion at the snap. There's not all of these things are high level offense stuff that the Browns just never get to.
Yeah,
sucks.
It sucks.
So I think that after 3 years of opportunity of trying to get to that or figure this out and solve this, I think it's time to give somebody else a chance.
I agree, because here's the other thing I'll say too, is if you fire Stefanski, someone gets to come in and try with Shador. And if it doesn't work, they don't have to go. That's the thing that I like.
No.
Is you find someone you believe in.
Else. Yeah.
And it's then you're still in the same place. But also, the easiest path to this actually is Shador. I would argue that there's an easier path to this if Shador works out over the next 3 years than us having gotten the second pick.
What's that?
Well, I'm just saying, I think
Shador being an absolute star is the easiest path. Yeah.
That's the easiest path. I think it was the highest percentage path to find the success you want by having that pick. But to say that it would be easier than Shador is now in full. Yes, that's right.
That's
legendary is what needs to happen basically for Shador. And that's Jake's Hail Mary. Shador needs to be
root for now.
The Hail Mary.
I don't think that was part of the Hail Mary though.
But also, I know you will root for it, and I say you as a representation, Brad, of Browns fandom, because I remember having a conversation with you 6 weeks ago where you're like, I will never be able to just root for them to lose. And you will do what you need to do as your fandom dictates it for the best outcome of the team.
Right.
which isn't to say that you're like, you know, flip-flopping. It's
A
just to saying
liar.
that, well, yeah, you're an absolute liar.
I
But
was in that place, but like you
yeah,
get to
but you
this point
changed. You
where
changed, which I think is
I
valid.
realized how important it was to get a shot at one of these guys. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes.
and that's just my belief. I'm not saying that my belief is right. Um, but that's just my belief in where I'm at with Sanders, this staff, attracting a coach, all those things, I think played into this pick being a top 2 pick, and not getting it, I think really sucks. That doesn't mean we're not gonna forge on forward supporting Sanders and whoever they bring in a head coach, whether that means keeping Stefanski or bringing in somebody else. But this is the cards they've been dealt. Now I get to, now we get to look at, at 6. What do they do at 6 or 5, or what's where they end up at? But like, is it
Receiver.
worth trading back?
Receiver trade down.
Yeah, yeah. But like, you may be able to get the best wide receiver in the draft now, so it's not all bad. It's just like we have to pivot now. But I do think the Browns are kind of in that same spot where they're a little bit pigeonholed into Shador, right? At this point. Like, he's shown enough to make you think that he could be good. So you kind of have to roll with it and figure it out. The
I
only thing that was going to push you off that trajectory was a top 2 pick, in my opinion.
Well, would you rather see Shador throw for 250 yards and a touchdown next week and 2 touchdowns next week and a win, or lose?
Now,
No matter what. Yeah.
I would rather
Yeah.
see him throw for 250 and a touchdown. Don't matter
Okay.
anymore. The difference between doesn't matter anymore.
All right. Well, let's talk about it this week.
I'll have to look into that for you and see what the difference in the picks are. But it would seem like once you're past 2 and you're into the 6 to 10 range,
I think the goal is still have Shador throw for 202 touchdowns and then lose by 2. I think that's
that's ideal, of course.
All right. Well, I'm sorry for everybody that we won.
Listen,
everyone is upset we
and I'm
won.
sorry for presenting
Steelers.
not fun scenarios, but like this is why I was upset. This is why I wanted it to happen. It all matters. You're right, Charlie Chuck. It all matters, and the only way is through, and that continues to be the truth. The only way is through, and just now, the path is going to be a little bit different, but I'm highly intrigued to see what they can do now. Listen, I'm all for signing whoever said that in the chat. I think it was Charlie Chuck. I'm all for bringing in the 29-year-old head coach, Udinski. Be ahead of everybody at something. This guy's a savant. Bring him in. I'm all for it. I don't think they'll do it, but they should.
All right. Let's talk about it more this week.
Hey, appreciate you all being here. Whether you hate me, hate my voice, disagree with me, disagree with my takes, I still appreciate you being here and participating in the chat, and I really do. So thank you guys all for being here so much.
Who's
Best
coming
wishes
for
to
Brad's
Jake.
voice?
And people do all the time.
You have a unique sound. They hate us because they ain't us, bro.
Some people cannot stand the sound of my voice, and it's fine. I can't stand it either. Ask my wife; she hates it too.
She's our top listener.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. And maybe it's an acquired taste or something. I don't know. Anyways, appreciate you guys being here. Go Browns. We forge ahead together. We'll figure it out. See you on the flip side. A Victory Monday to enjoy for all. For Browns Film Breakdown, for Peter Moses, I'm Brad Ward. Have a good night.